Hey everybody, Chad Scott with Whiskey Gas Garage coming to you live. And I know we normally start off these episodes, I'm in front of a pile of junk or one of my cars, or maybe they're one and the same. Anyway, wanted to start this one a little different. We're here in the editing studio of the Whiskey Gas Garage, also known as my office, also known as the spare bedroom to my house. Little did you know. Well, I want to start this episode off a little different because this is kind of a special build for us. My son, you wonder as a parent, and I became a parent to a son much later in life. I was almost 40 when old Holden was born. Yep, boy, still got it. Anyway, you wonder the same way I'm sure my dad wondered, am I raising this kid right? Is he going to do the right things when he gets older? And I think I've shared with this group before, he's on his way to be part of the Air Force intelligence analyst community. He ships out December 16th for boot camp and then directly on to school from there. And he's super proud. Good kid. Never really any problems his whole life. He's just a good kid, smart, college. He's done everything right. But, you still wonder, as a dad, did he take, what's he going to do with these lessons that we try and instill in him his whole life, his mom and I. And he came to me the other day, he goes, Dad, I have a friend in North Carolina. We just moved to Colorado from North Carolina about 2 years ago. He goes, we went to high school together. His family could really use a car. Not the ideal situation for this family, and it can be tough. But kids taking care of a couple of younger brothers. He doesn't have a car, can't afford one. And cars mean so much more than just cool things to drive around. I mean, they're transportation. They mean jobs and childcare and going to school or not going to school. Getting food on the table, getting your little brothers to baseball practice. They mean a lot of things. He goes, if I go in half with you on one, can we find a car? We'll build it, and then we can just give it to them. We'll trailer it down to North Carolina and just give it to them. And I'm like, you're damn right we can. So that's exactly what this build is. And I want you guys to kind of know ahead of time why we're putting a little extra time and love and energy into this build is because it's important. It's important to Holden, which makes it important to me, and it's important that he was willing to put up his own money and help buy this car and spend all the time getting it up and going just to help out somebody who's less fortunate than he was and that he is. So we're thrilled to be building this car, and we're absolutely going to be giving it away. I'm not 100% sure that we'll film the giving of the car and we'll definitely film the drive out to North Carolina and those pieces and parts. And it'll be up to the family we're giving it to, whether or not they want to be a part of this. But they don't know the car's coming, but it's definitely coming. So we're very excited. And again, special build. And for all you dads out there who are wondering, or moms too, all you parents out there who are wondering if you raised a kid right, this is one of those aha moments when the light bulb goes off for us as parents. And it kind of validates what we've done with our kids growing up, and it's very exciting times in the kingdom. So y'all hang in, hang out, and hang on. We're going to have a good time.
Well, if your ride's broke down and looking sad, got a clunker car, it's just plain bad. Don't you fret, don't you worry, don't you sass. Just bring it on down to Chad's Whiskey Gas. He's Chad, he's wild, he's got the speed. Fixing up rust buckets, planting a new seed. In the Whiskey Gas Garage, you know it's true. He'll get that old forgotten clunker feeling brand new.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Gas Garage. This is Chad Scott and I'm your host. And whenever you see us in a big just lot full of awesome cars, we're car shopping. And there's nothing I like better than car shopping day. We are at Advanced Auto Recycling in Sheridan, Colorado. Janet and her husband own this. And, they buy junk cars. They recycle them, they pull them apart, they sell parts. And occasionally they'll come across a car and, you know, it's old, it's quirky, it's not something they're going to tear apart, and they sell it as a whole car. So, you know, we put a plea out. You guys know why we're here on this episode. We explained it beforehand. We're building a car for a family who really needs a reliable car. You know, it's more than just about the car. Cars can be life-changing. They can mean jobs. They can mean childcare. They can mean going to school. They can mean a lot of things. So the car we're coming after today, right over my shoulder here, the old 1984 Plymouth Reliant SE. Plymouth Reliant SE. Now, when you get a car that's going to be reliable and it's got Reliant in the name, you just assume, you got to remember, this is the car that saved Chrysler Corporation back in the 80s. Lee Iacocca came out with this car, and it was just a car. Hand crank windows. This one is a one owner, 65-ish thousand miles. And it's got a little story and a little history that we'll get into a little later. But I just want to thank, they reached out to us after we put this on the interweb that we were looking for a car for this family. And I want to thank them for really giving us a smoking deal. And I mean a smoking deal on this car. Holden and I, of course, are going on in this together. So we're able to give it, donate it to this family at his request before we head out, before he heads out to boot camp in December. So, hey, if you're in Sheridan, Colorado, you want a smoking deal on some car parts, tires, wheels, this is the only place you can get them. I put their information down there in the corner. Make sure that you give these guys a call if you're in the area, you're looking for parts, you're looking for a car, because they care about us, they care about the community, and they do great work. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Well, it's a shakedown cruise for our trailer. We did a little thing around town, got it up with the R5 on it. Now we're on with the Plymouth Reliant K car, 63,000 mile one owner there, and I may have a hard time letting this car go. I kind of like it. Mid-sized car, 100-inch wheelbase. Let me tell you, 100-inch wheelbase, that's it. That is the longest car that we could possibly put on the old trailer here. But remember, we built this for small cars. This is kind of an anomaly that we would do a mid-sized car at all. But looks like it's going to fit just fine. Everything's going to work out. Of course, the old Excursion will pull it like it's not even there with all those extra V's in it. But we're just going to keep going down the road with it and see if we can make it back to the Whiskey Gas Garage. Took a lot to get it loaded on there. I'm not going to lie to you. We took some pushing. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Hey, welcome back. All right, so here we are with the 1984 Plymouth Reliant K SE. That's a lot. There was a lot going on. Now, as we mentioned before, this is the car that saved Chrysler. So Chrysler went into bankruptcy in the late 70s, early 80s. They had acquired AMC and Renault, and it was a mess. And then they went into receivership, I think, and then Lee Iacocca came along, took them over, and produced this every man's car, I think from 81 to about 88. My mom had one back in the mid to late 80s, and she absolutely loved it, a silver one, and drove the wheels off of it. So now, from the outside, it looks pretty darn good. Now, that's because we washed it. If you remember, we picked it up in a auto recycling lot, thanks to Janet and Ray, who really kind of donated this car to the channel to get it built up. And it was just, they let us spray it off with their hose. Thank you, Ray and Janet, for letting us borrow your hose. It was absolutely filthy. You couldn't even see in the windows. We had no idea what we were buying when we saw it, because it was completely covered in gravel dust. So you saw us there on the old video. We stopped and we juiced her up pretty good while she was on the trailer, and we got her cleaned up. So that helped a lot. And then it's been raining the past few days here while it's sitting out. It's got Michigan plates on it because those are the plates off of the Yugo. Shh. We just wanted to have some plates on it. I don't like to have things sitting in my driveway without plates on them. The city might get a little suspicious of why there are cars with no plates in your driveway. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But, she's got a little door ding there. Nothing too serious. We haven't done much cleaning up on it other than taking a high pressure hose to her. We still don't know if she runs and drives. We pushed her up into the driveway here with my wife's Bronco with its new bumper. We put a big tire on the front of it and pushed it up here. So here she sits. Again, we don't know much about her other than what she is. Now, we did run the old VIN through. We have a title on her. She is from Arizona. She was born and raised in Arizona, in Sedona, Arizona is where she was purchased. One owner, a little lady named Mamie, M-A-Y-M-E Oppenheimer. And I thought Oppenheimer was just a movie. Turns out there are actually people named Oppenheimer. So Mamie Oppenheimer owned this car, and her and her husband wintered in Sedona, Arizona. They had had like a condo there, and this car was down there. They lived in Denver, which is where we got the car, just outside of Denver. But Mamie and her husband lived in Sedona, and this was the car they kept in Sedona. Now, what we know about it is it's got 63,000 miles on it, and those are original miles. I saw an oil change on the Carfax that was the last oil change, the oil that's in it now, we saw on the Carfax, and that was just 7 or 8 years ago. So we know it's been sitting 7 or 8 years. Unfortunately, Mamie and her husband both passed. Her son donated the car to a charity auction. The Janet and Ray bought it and didn't know they bought it at a charity auction. They bought a lot of cars. I don't mean like a whole bunch. They bought a lot, several cars for one money, and they didn't even realize this was involved in them because they buy recycling cars. So they buy, late model cars, then they break them apart and they recycle them. It's Advanced Auto Recycling, and it's in Sheridan, Colorado. I invite you guys to give them a shout because they've been really good to the channel. So they really didn't know they were getting this car, but they ended up with it, and we ended up with it, and it all worked out for everybody. So let's just kind of take a look at her and see what she's doing and what she looks like, and what we've gotten ourselves into, really. So this is not the first time we've opened the door, but it will be the first time we've really taken a look at it. Let's see what... Oh, that sounded pretty good. It's kind of the door test. All right. Sounds pretty good. Ooh, hand crank windows, guys. Hand crank windows. Maybe this was the working man's car. I might need a little bit of old WD-38 in there. Try to get that going. Guys, look at these seats. Wow, no doubt in my mind this is a 63,000 mile car. The carpets are all there. Quality engineered by the Chrysler Corporation. Well, there's some question as to whether or not that's true. Let's see here. 63,705 miles. It's got gauges. It's got extra gauges, so there's a temperature gauge, which leads me to believe that it's probably overheated and doesn't run at all, because there's a temperature gauge there too. And then somebody said, let's put a second temperature gauge. Maybe because it's a hot rod, they have a temperature gauge on the transmission. Maybe that's what that is. No, these only came with two platforms, like a 2.2, I think, and a 2.5. I believe this is a 2.2. We'll know more when we get under the hood. Reliant. Gotta remember, this was Chrysler's first attempt at a front-wheel drive car, so they wanted to make it reliantable, and apparently it's reliantable. It's got a cassette player, which, we hope works. A thank you for not smoking placard, because apparently Mamie didn't want to smoke, so we've seen those before. She's dirty. She's really dirty. Automatic. I think that, oh yeah, got a thing that pushes forward there. Oh, that's fancy. That's real faux leather wood plastic. Of course, she's an automatic. Headliner's all there and not drooping. Back seats are just like they've never been sat in. And then clipped on the thing here, Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel stays with the car forever, as far as I'm concerned, regardless of what we do with this. You know, we were talking about taking the old Renault R5 there down to duct tape drags. And now I'm thinking maybe we take this if we can get it running and driving. I'm not sure which would go faster, or slower, maybe the right word for it. See the bus there in the background with the Whiskey Wranglers. I've got shows this weekend, the band. So we've got the old tour bus here. We've got a show tonight in Berthoud, Colorado at Turner's Pit Barbecue. Invite everybody to come on down. So this is what we're having the inside. There's nothing to be ashamed of in here. I'm thoroughly impressed. Let's pull the old hood latch here. See what we got under the old go barn there. Let's see here. You know, it's got good tires. All the hubcaps are there. Now the back two tires match each other and the front two tires match each other. So we've got 4 tires that kind of match. Let's see here. All right, see what we're looking at here. Now we've seen this before because you saw us wash all this and it was filthy. You know, not a ton of oil, but it's clear that it hadn't been cleaned up. Yeah, I think this is the 2.2. You know, just a nice horizontally imposed. These were cheap engines. You know, they had some electronic control over the carburetor there, air filter back there. I mean, just super simple. Again, their first the transmission's right down here. We have put a battery in it, though we haven't tested it yet. So we bought a new battery and put in it, and Holden and I we're going to get out here and try to do a little work on it and test it. But it looks completely there. I mean, it all looks there. It's an AC car. Okay. We'll see if it actually has AC. Coil up here looks fine. Why wouldn't it? Of course, let's use a red for grounding. That seems right. It looks like it's had some work done here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but there's some wires and going to the fan, and I don't know, and some tape, and there's a wire nut from the house, which tells me it's quality. It's been done right. Somebody's taken the time to do it the right way. But it all looks here. Even all the emission stickers are still there. I mean, this looks, gosh, it looks really, really good for the year car. The build sheet's right there on the thing. I'll have to look all those codes up to find out exactly what we've gotten ourselves into. Need to check the oil in it, check the water, but we'll get to all that. Be patient. Be patient. I know you guys just want me to stick a key in it and turn it, but I'm scared to death. Let's be very clear. Scared to death of this one. It has been sitting, we know, 8 years. The folks who had it before me, Janet and Ray, they never tried to start it. They were, like me, worried about it. Let's get in here in the trunk and see what she does. See, she's got a couple of keys. Oh, it got keys with it. And my keys also came with a house key and a gas cap key and a lot of keys. So somebody, their son, I think this, oh, okay. That's fancy. Way to go, Chrysler. All right, teeth go up on the, oh yeah, teeth go up. Okay. All right, that doesn't stay up at all. So, trunk looks fine. Got a spare tire. Well, what's that? If that's the spare tire, I'm gonna let this trunk squash my, what's this? Maybe that's where the spare tire is supposed to go. Oh no. Okay, so we have a donut spare up there with the original jack and a lug wrench, and then we have another spare. So we have a spare. Why wouldn't we have it? Look at that. Look under the trunk. Zero rust. I mean, it literally looks like somebody got in there and waxed it. You can even see the reflection of the spare tire off the trunk. It's so clean. All right, that's, oh, now it'll stay up a little. Whoa, up and down. All right. It's like it's on gummies. Okay, so we've got that. Nothing disappointing about that. Like I said, there's no rust in the rockers. Now, I'm arguing that this is actually the plastic that somebody left on this and that you can just peel it off. But I don't know. You know, after 40 years, who can really tell? It's the SE, which I assume stands for Special Edition. And, you know, I was looking at the specs on this car, and the SE, apparently it didn't have bench seats. It had 2 bucket seats in the front. The seats were some kind of better cloth material. And then you got this Landau vinyl top, which is in perfect shape. The only thing I can think is it must have sat inside its entire life, because these don't last. They certainly don't last 40 plus years in this kind of shape. It was dirty and filthy when we got it, but it's not bad. There's one little scratchy scratch here on the door. You know, if we get it running and driving, we may buff on her and see if that buffs out. This paint is in great shape, but could use cutting and buffing and all that stuff. You know, the hood looks to be in really good shape. It's got an antenna, so we know the radio works. So there we are. It's got stuff. It is a Plymouth Reliant KSE. And this is going to get some extra fancy wires too. That's a lot. That's a lot coming off the battery post. I don't know if that's factory or if that's somebody who knows these cars. Put that down in the comments. Is that the way these came out with, we'll just wire everything to the battery? Because I don't know what goes where. But we're certainly going to find out. All right. You guys hang in, hang out, hang on. We're going to check the oil in her and all the fluids and make sure she turns over and go from there. See y'all in just a minute. All right, here we are. Let's check for go juices. Now, we know we've already put a new battery in her. So she's, because she didn't have one at all. Not like there was a core and we got our $25 back. We did not. But I don't know if you price batteries these days. Not cheap. Not cheap, but she's got the right battery in her now. She's a value battery because that was a good value. 600 cold cranking amps. So we've got a new battery in her. Let's just check all the fluids. Again, it looks like it's all here. Start up here at the brakes. There's fluid in the brakes, but man, is it dark. If we do get her running and driving, we're going to have to flush all the fluid out of the brakes. It is black as oil. The old oil stick here. She's a quart low, and she's black as a skillet. So it's sat a long time, and like I mentioned before, we saw in the Carfax when it had its current oil change, and that was about 7 or 8 years ago. So we know that it's had an oil change, and it's still got some miles left on that oil change. Let's get down here to the transmission fluid. It says add, and then it says warm, so it's on the stick. We're on a little bit of a slant here in the old Whiskey Gas driveway that we had to push her up into because the garage is full. Let's see here. Let's check the old radiator. 16-pound cap here. Don't see anything at all in the radiator, so it looks like that's empty. Perfect. Nothing in the overflow, so the motor's clearly burn up from driving without any antifreeze. Won't hurt to try to start it, but we'll see. We already knew there were some wonky wires down here that we looked at that went to the fan here, so maybe that didn't work, or I don't know. Doesn't matter. Let's see here. Let's go over to the power steering box. Let's put that in a least convenient place. Thank you, Chrysler. Okay. Fluid on the stick and the power steering. So while she doesn't run and drive, she does steer, I guess. So the right way to do things, I guess the only thing left is fuel. The right way to do things is to go ahead and disconnect this fuel line, put it into a little bucket. These all had clicky clacky fuel pumps, so nothing mechanical about it. I'm gonna have to start to pump fuel and just see if it pumps fuel. So we're gonna definitely not do that at all. We're just gonna pour some Berryman's in it. We'll pour Berryman's in it, and we'll just let that coat the inner outer sides of the pump, and then we'll let that pump gas straight up into the motor and the carburetor, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Shouldn't be any problem at all. Should work just like perfect. So let's do that. Is that what we do? We know we have completage. We have what, high temp radio suppression cables for the spark plug cables. I think it's all here, minus water. Maybe we should put water in it. Yeah, well, it's not going to matter if we're just trying to start it. We'll wait and see if it starts before we waste a gallon of water, and then maybe we'll put some water in it. So, there's a lot we should do. We should put a crank on it to make sure that it cranks over without any problems. We should do a lot of stuff, but we're not going to do any of that. I think what we do is we just get in it, we put the key, we turn the key, and we see what happens. Because that seems a way of wisdom, right? There's only 10,000 things that have to move in a car at the same time to make it work. Let's just test that theory. It's only 41 years old, right? It'll be fine. And it is only a Chrysler Plymouth K car SE. Look on your FaceSpace marketplace and see how many of those are out there. The answer is not very many. Which is why part of the reason we got this car, and part of the reason that they called us on it is they didn't know what to do with it either. They were like, "Hey, we got this car. I know you're building one for somebody special. Let's figure it all out." So here we are. So I'd say let's just get in it, stick the key in the old dusty ignition, turn it, and see what happens. Right? All right, there we go. We're not going to prime it. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to get in it and go. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Let's take the old camera here. She's a pretty car. I have no desire to tell you any different. She's a pretty car. I mean, if you're into these kind of things, this may not be your girl. She's the kind of girl that will make it to the prom, but she ain't gonna be the prom queen. You know what I'm saying? I think you do. All right, so let's see what happens. This will be we've stuck the key in the ignition before because the wheel was locked, and it did unlock when we had to winch it up on. Oh, no, we didn't do that. Ugh, of all things, and I hear the fuel pump working. Of all things that work, I'm gonna turn it back off here for a second. Oh, this is one of those you got to push that little button. There's a little button back here to get the key out. Of all things that still works in the 1941 years later, the damn buzzer works. So glad that technology lasted 41 years. So let's try it again here. There it is. All right. Well, before we start it, let's turn on the radio. Of course we're going to turn on the radio before we start it, because we need most important things first. Let's see. It's a turn. Oh, okay. There you go. College football. That's what I'm talking about. All right. The keys to the game. All right. Well, that works. So we'll turn that back off. Now let's just bump the starter to see if we got anything. Okay. Okay, we heard bumpy starter things. I'm going to let that fuel pump fuel up because it's telling how long it has been. But you can definitely hear it. Sounds like it's in the back of the car somewhere, the fuel pump is. So, all right. Oh, little fire stuff. All right. This is going to be the one. We're just going to let it go and see what happens. All right, so nothing there. Let's pump on her a little bit. Let's give her a couple little pumps there and see what happens. And there she is. Is this really running? We got a lot of bounce in that. So the fuel gauge works. I don't know anything about any other temperature gauges. Don't know. It's just got an oil light. The alternator is bouncing around like it has no idea how many. Oh, but you put your foot in it and it goes. All right, let's get out here and look at this motor and see what's happening outside. Wow, just quiet. She's quiet as she can be. The AC compressor is running. Of course, we don't have the AC on. She idles good. Don't know if she's charging yet, but we'll find out in just a few minutes. All right. She's doing stuff. Let's do a quick exterior check on her. Let's flip some lights on here. Ah, the old school lights, you just pull them out. Okay, side marker light working. Yeah, that one's working. That one's working. That side marker light, hard to tell because of the sun. Definitely a muffler thing happening back here, either a bad muffler or a hole or a leak or something, but you know, side light working here, headlight working, side light again, the sun. Wow, does she sound great or what? She sounds like she's got 63,000 miles on her. So let's take a look at her over here. Let's see what we got going on in here. All right, so should we test the air conditioner? Of course we should. Oh, did you hear that go down? So the air conditioner works. Oh, but no blower motor, no fan. So the AC kicked down like it's working, but we have no fan. Maybe that's a fuse. We'll have to get deeper into that. Yeah, hear that? Oh, the temp gauge is coming up. We're at 140. Got the rear defrost. I guess the only question now is, does it go into gear? We know that the stick moves because we had it neutral when we pushed it up here, and we know it holds in park. What was he thinking? Oh, that looks brand new because, again, thank you for not smoking. Apparently somebody listened. Whoop, the idle just kicked up a little bit. That's either a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out. So when you close that, the buzzer comes back on. That's pretty exciting. That's part of that SE feature. Let's see what it's got in here. A little bit of mouse poo. That's okay. We can fix that. And it got super loud. All right, so let's put our foot on the brake, drop her down into reverse, and see what happens. Okay. Well, she almost died. So that's not necessarily a good sign, but, you know, again, it's eating through fuel that we know is at least 7 or 8 years old. But we did put Berryman's in it, so Berryman's getting ready to do your job. Let's put it back in reverse. She's not dying, but she certainly wants to. Let's put her into neutral. Put her into drive. No, she doesn't try to die as bad in drive. So she does have gears. Now, I don't know about low 1 and low 2. I'm not that brave yet, but put her back up in park. Oh, set the emergency brake on her so we don't roll out of our driveway. Oh, I guess closing the door will make that sound go away. Well, so here we are. She's got lights. She runs, she goes forward and backwards, I guess. So I guess the next step is to drive it. That's what we're going to do, because it's got completely legal tags off of a Yugo from 1992. So yeah, there couldn't be anything wrong with driving her around the block here at the old Whiskey Gas Garage. So let's give that a shot and see what happens. You all hang in, hang out, and hang on. This has been a good one so far. Well, let's do this thing. So we're just going to drive it. You know, we haven't really tested it. It ran for a full 45 seconds. So surely it'll run for a trip around the block or a trip down to the AMW to get a Oreo swirly blizzard thing. We're going to test it. And of course, I've got my handy dandy cameraman Holden here. He's gonna do that time lapse thing because he's young and knows how to do that. Anyway, let's just get in her and drive her, and Holden get in the old passenger side there, and we'll take her for a drive. All right, let's see here. Now we know she started up earlier. Let's see if she'll do it again. Ooh, she's at like 170 degrees, and we ran it for 45 seconds. Should be fine. The buzzer. Why does the buzzer have to work? Oh, a little rough. Let me give her some juice there. Again, this is 8-year-old gas, but it's got Berryman's in it, so it's like brand new. And I'm going to roll these windows down because it is hot. Holden grew up around roll down windows because we're poor. And we were poor. We're not as poor as we used to be, but we used to be really poor. So I'm gonna put on a seatbelt. Holden, you just don't need one because you know you're safe. When you love your son enough to tell him not to wear a seatbelt, that's true love. A moment brought to you by After School Television. No. So all right, here we go. Foot on the brake. Feels like we have brake. You know, I didn't test brakes. Let's just assume we have brakes. Okay. Oh, emergency brake is apparently working because we said it earlier. Now I have to back out without hitting Holden's Firebird. Okay. You know how Holden fell in love with the TR7 and then we... Oh, gonna die. Not gonna die, didn't die. Holden fell in love with the TR7 and then of course we tore that completely apart. You saw in the last episode us driving it down the road as a chassis. All right, still stopping. Okay. Let's see here. There's the Whiskey Wranglers tour bus there to the right. That we're inmate transport. Stay back 250 feet. If you'll notice our signage on the side of the bus, it says Folsom State Penitentiary. Not really a Folsom State prison bus. And again, local law enforcement is not nearly, doesn't think it's nearly as funny as I do. All right, here we go. And we're driving. This is where we almost hit the lady in the TR7 the first time, remember? Because we realized at that point we didn't have any brakes. So we're just gonna go around our block here. Because of course we're fully insured, licensed, and the taxes have been paid. Yeah, this Whiskey Gas Garage, no, that's true. Okay, she shifted from first to second. Let's go down right here. Oh, dog in the road. All right, don't hit the dog. 15 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour. We are, that may be the top speed, maybe. 160 degrees on the old 10 meter there. A little warm for just starting her up. The volts are bouncing around. All right. Please. Thank you for not smoking. It says it right there, doesn't it? Yeah. I hope that doesn't mean smoking hot, because that's not Whiskey Gas Garage. And then we're back at the Whiskey Gas Garage here. All right. It's holding at 160. Volts are there. It's got gas. It's got brakes. What do you say, Holden? You think we want to take it for a drive and see if we can actually get it up to some miles per hour?
I guess we'll see.
All right, here we go. Y'all hang in, hang out, and hang on. There you have it. Have we ever done such a simple run and drive? I guess when you buy a car and it's a one owner and it's got 63,000 miles on it, and you know, my wife's favorite 3 words are "I love you." My favorite 3 words are "ran when parked." So we heard that it ran when parked, and turns out maybe it did run when parked because we got it running. So now we go through all the stuff. We're gonna change the oil. It shifted through all the gears perfectly. We got it up to 70 miles an hour. Now that took a long time, Holden. Long time. Took a long time to get up to 70 miles an hour, but it got up to it. We drove it. It shifted through all 3 gears just the way we think it should. So now it's time we're going to change the oil. We're going to flush that brake fluid. We're going to bleed the brakes. They're a little squishy. We're going to do all the kind of stuff that you got to do. And tomorrow morning is the Cars and Coffee here in Loveland, Colorado, the next little town up in northern Colorado. We may throw some wax wheels on it, clean it up. I don't know what we're going to do to it, but we're going to do some stuff to it, vacuum it out, get it cleaned up. May take it to Cars and Coffee tomorrow, because if you want a show car, the Plymouth Reliant K is definitely the one you want to take to the show. Belle of the Ball will probably win the whole show. It's not that kind of show. Doesn't matter. We'll probably take it there anyway. So thank you guys for hanging out with us on this episode of Whiskey Gas Garage. My name is Chad Scott, your host. You all hang in, hang out, and hang on.
Well, if your ride's broke down and looking sad, got a clunker car, it's just plain bad. Don't you fret, don't you worry, don't you sass. Just bring it on down to Chad's Whiskey Gas. He's Chad, he's wild, he's got the speed.